I am so excited for FIFA 23 this year because this book right here is going to inspire my squad. Let's talk about it. So, Zlatan Ibrahimovic has come out before when he played for PSG, and he shared what his best XI would be, Zlatan's best 11 that he has ever played with. And so, of course, Zlatan puts himself in this best 11, but this is what Zlatan came up with. And so, this is a team filled with players. He's played with Maxwell. He's played with for a long time. I read his first book, which he explains a lot of his relationships with these different players, talks about how intense Vieira was, how impressed he was by Lionel Messi, all these different guys he talks about in different ways. And so, Zlatan has shared this XI of players, but this is the thing. If you go into FootBin and you put those players into a team, this is what you get. And so I thought, well, maybe I could do something where I move the team around. I could throw in some AC Milan players, Di Maria, players that Zlatan used to play with. And I will do that throughout this year as we play FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. But I looked at it and was like, man, that's really Zlatan's best XI. It's not a full team. I can't make it work. But then I was looking through Zlatan's I Am Football book, in which literally, as you scroll through, you got Zlatan's high kick, the best moment he ever had, Sweden versus England. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I Am Football, nice little photo. Explains his career in all his different clubs, which is something that I did last year. I started to do last year, was every time I lost a game, I went on to the next club that Zlatan played with, which was an interesting experience. And then you go forward, and Zlatan has a page out of his own notebook where he has detailed his best XI, which is slightly different than this team. And so I'm going to pull up that XI. So, if you pull up Zlatan's XI in the book, he has Ronaldinho, himself, and Messi up top. Nedved, Vieira, and Xavi in the middle. He then has Nesta and Thiago Silva and Buffon with Lilian Thuram and Maxwell again. So again, two players who aren't in FIFA. But in the bottom on the bench, Zlatan put some players' names, which include Julio Cesar, Iniesta, Cannavaro, Gattuso, and Seedorf. Julio Cesar not mentioned, but he's not in the game. Iniesta was just in the game last year, but he's not in it now. But Cannavaro, Gattuso, and Seedorf are. But before I talk about those three guys there on the bench below, we need to give homage to the players who did not make it into this FIFA version. So as we look through the players that Zlatan put on his bench, we have him and Julio Cesar, which they have this great moment where Zlatan took a penalty kick against him. Zlatan, of course, scored the penalty kick, but he gives great respect to Julio Cesar, saying Julio Cesar could have played in the outfield. That's how good his technique was. When Zlatan talks about Lilian Thuram, who's not the goalie in the middle, that's Buffon, but he talks about Lilian Thuram, he says that training with him at practice was like the World Cup every single time, a World Cup final, which Zlatan's never been in. It's okay, though. But he talks about that and says that he would have bruises from this guy after every single practice. So this is Zlatan with Iniesta towards the end of Iniesta's career, where Zlatan kept going on. He has so much respect for Iniesta and his play style. He calls him Mr. Magic. And so that's Zlatan and Iniesta. And the last one, Zlatan and Maxwell. Zlatan and Maxwell's careers focus with each other. Time at Ajax, time at Barcelona, time at PSG. They really stayed really well connected with each other. They were roommates at times. Maxwell was going off to Barcelona before Zlatan could get there from, I think they were at Juventus at the time together, or Inter actually. So it's just really interesting, Zlatan talking about his time with Maxwell, almost like his best friend. And so Maxwell, however, has not made it into FIFA, but I think eventually he will. And so now that we've given respect to those players and we look at Zlatan's XI, I, of course, found a way to make it happen. And this isn't a way where I use any other players than who Zlatan mentioned. Now, I might be putting myself into a tough formation, but that's just simply what you got to do to get Zlatan's favorite players with him. And being realistic about this, I will hope for and go for the moments and the prime icons. Thiago Silva, I believe, very shortly is going to be receiving a flashback card. Buffon, you hope that will eventually happen if he maybe gets an end of an era. Messi, of course, is going to get special cards. Zlatan better get a special card, because as we look at this team and what I have built, this is the team I'm looking to use. You are able to get 11 players, as Zlatan has mentioned. Baby Ronaldinho can be shifted to a left wing. I currently have Baby Ronaldinho on loan because he is the first icon I got. That pack where you get 23 games. I think I have about 15 left. I'm not going to use him anymore to hold off for later. I'm putting the baby icons in. I'm putting the cheapest version of the icons in. And I hope to build up. But Seedorf can play at right mid. Only his baby version, however, can play at right mid. And of course, I might try to find a way to change this in game. But I think I would just go with it for what it is. Because if Zlatan believes they were good enough to be the best players he played with, then I agree. I think it's the way to go forward. And there's no bench. Because these are the 11 players that Zlatan has mentioned that are actually in FIFA. And you can get all 11 of them into a team. And so this is the year that we begin the road to Zlatan's XI. And so as I come into here, I think it's only fitting that we go ahead and we get the formation that we need. So a 3-4-3. And of course we have to get the big man Zlatan up here as soon as the game decides to load. Alright, so we have Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Right now for me, I've been using Zlatan. I'm not just a fanboy. 17 games, 3 assists, and 17 goals and 3 assists in 19 games. 750 coins for Zlatan. I will keep using him every single game. It's then, as I said, pretty exciting because on loan, I currently have Ronaldinho, who Ronaldinho can be position changed to a left wing. And to show you my commitment to this, I am position changing him because I'm not using him for those games until the time comes that this XI is completed, unless I pack another version of him. I also have the goalkeeper, who I have packed. And so where is Buffon? There he is. 90 positioning is what I hope will save this card for me, because I will use him, and I will use this team every game. And the one thing that I noticed, and you'll see this on Footbin, when you actually pull up Zlatan's XI, 24 out of 33 chemistry is pretty decent. All the icons have chemistry. Buffon has 2 chemistry. Thiago Silva will have 1. Messi and Zlatan have no chemistry. And that's just how it's going to go. There's no other way to work around it. I, of course, could throw some AC Milan players in there, things like that. But I want to get to this XI and just grind out games with this XI. But I'm not using FIFA points. I'm not doing anything other than trying to build the coins up to eventually get these players. Do icon SBCs. Hopefully a Thiago Silva SBC. Hopefully eventually a Buffon SBC. Maybe they do a Messi flashback this year, because he has yet to get a flashback card. I'm dreaming big for this. I am really excited for this year of FIFA. I hope for the future that I can eventually build Zlatan's XI. And I look forward to those of you who will be with me in this journey. And so as I go forward and as I play games and as I move on, I will update you guys as we gain more players into this squad. We are 3 out of 11 players in. And it's going to take quite some time to get those other 8 players. But we will get them, and we will build Zlatan's XI.